Then call list.
Mana buat gini. Ada water shamba.
Yes.
Money.
Morning to you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Why you married?
Where?
Hey, yeah. Yes? Why you married?
Saya ambil apa? Kan pergi nak big ba. Ada macam
Head official said like proclamation for me the fire. One two can go work.
Ya begini lah keluar ada. Jadi mana di rumah key holders no palamasi kan atau yes. It's good to be.
Gino tora kom. Gino pe gonya tora. Gino ko bi tora. Bene, con kirmere. Vale.
AU to Z, manda AU to Z.
Because the word that you work like that.
Catch up.
Kuna da word. Ini ada halang ada ini ada hadu kan namanya namanya.
So, this is A to 80.
A to 80. A to 80.
This is A to 80.
We are consulted. We are consulted. Kado training you know me video to this. Teach you can you can join yam. Kile kana da family premier ba na mujeni ana bina me bolo kuira da eno pene na be na kyan en ko digina me jo por kuira angit kuira ja ki ko cha pa gunu wan ja bolo kuira those are reasons afan ana wun upun wun me ko ya wan wan bol kuira.
At what time did you come?
Ana bin kan cha par yo. Kuna ta ne tu ni cha par yo. Ade bolo kuira ko kuira cha yo. Muda de bolo kuira ga da ko kwen ada ko pashu. Kada kwa kada kwa kuira da winyi radio. Etro dong nena right. Kana cha ni cha tu na cha ngwen. Wan pu cha bolo kuira. Ai presiding officer onu mir bet kan. Presiding officer na ko pe no cho yang wo. So na mujia mi ko ni unjo me karni miri ka ponyi miri maktichi
Okay.
po cho ngata me pe marti chere dangi no mine ne ko Uganda obedo ko digine no ngato no poti idio me ti odi dia me wucho ye ti jorni apo benu gumu bang mi moto bang mi so ko kanu tiene ko Uganda po yun
Why?
Moro ti teacher. Ko bani chaman chawadi.
Dek.
Dek dak ya par dek.
So cha dek rak ya para dek ngomia ngora mi abedo kan. Ana na ya tura cha para yo ni ami bolo kui. Yo pe cha ka kwene. Yo me bolo kui ra ene. Yo me bolo kui ra ene.
So Joko bining wa chai penye ge.
Apa ni presiding officer pot pe. Kan cha ka kwene. Ana bet kan na cha di. Bet kan cha di.
Nyora do peron bin na hitiano.
Kara beti mongodo. Yen abala chawa na chako diku na chawa ni. Nena ta bol kuir ta uti juticha. Meme ya pite. Amani cha pun na cha pun pa bol kuir chaka kwen.
Tinu ko ni public holiday do.
Public holiday tini business public holidays. Offices and una yeti una offices. But we are in business. My business kai ni pe ko pe bedi pedam boro. So ka ko pe ka business a petit mo. Offices and mo chulo go chare to wan mo ja chulo kitchen me chulo jo chare jo kitchen me tiu bori me mi ko bere yot.
Why?
Pe ngato do ko ha bin po duogo. Enu jo letting wa down me po bolo kuir. Gino.
Okay.
Program berpi mo habij. Me mo habij ni jo yuber ko na hichawa. Poyo.
Be. Nanyutiwa. Wako era no.
But the amount in fact is what people want. There are people who are coming from police station who have said they have not yet heard from you. Actually, majority are not heard.
I volunteer to my sub-service coverage and parish coverage in 4. Because we have a chain of 4 combinations.
There are some polling stations where voting is not taking place. The polling case in Bulogo Ward, in Bulogo Primary School, the polling is not ongoing because the machine is down.
Yes, we have borrowed money. We are not using it.
No, what we now need is you first leave yourself.
What mama can.
I wanted to see my picture on the ballot. What happened? You were not happy.
Exactly.
Atiyo recording.
So she's going there.
Distance. What is your minimum distance?
Kali ri jam sarai pe be ko we ko kan.
Ati apa ini do? According to you.
We ka jima be be chung te abo.
That is answer. Allah bagi kita ini answer.
Cái bây giờ mới lên Singapore phải qua là qua.
Ron ngi gwete ngata pat. Okay.
It's not legal.
Okay.
You ask your questions.
So we want to know.
Otwi, where is your camera? Oh, okay.
This camera is better than the one of Moto.
Okay. Okay, you ask your questions.
So we just want to know the night preceding these elections. How was it for you? And then you have just voted. How has the process been? Did you use the voter verification machine? How was the process? What does this vote mean for the people of Lira City?
Thank you. What time is it? 39. It's about 12:39 p.m. here in Lira Primary School, where I have just finished voting with my dear husband. And it has been an experience that is comforting and that is positive, because the atmosphere is calm and people are moving and voting peacefully. Unfortunately, the BVK machines could not work, and therefore we are going through a manual process. The Electoral Commission communicated that we should go ahead and vote using the manual process. The system is quite quick, and the people who are conducting it are very jolly and very helpful. 2 days before the election today has been quite a bit of hell here in Lira City, with my opponent doing all kinds of things. What sparked off first was the hacking of people, cutting of people using pangas. We lost a lady from Angwet yesterday in hospital. There are 2 little children still battling for their lives, and a number of other people. In addition to that, she has been moving around carrying out voter bribery, even up to now. There is a lot of distribution of money at the polling stations, and unfortunately for us, the police are not very helpful. The police we have in the system are police constables who are not armed, and they are not able to stop any of this that is going on all over the place. Furthermore, she and her husband are moving around campaigning from polling station to polling station. I have brought this to the attention of the returning officer. I hope something will be done about it, because as far as I know, campaigns on the day of voting is not allowed. But the fact that police allows her to move and campaign, she has just concluded City East. They are now proceeding to City West with her husband, who has not been on the campaign trail with her. And I think he came particularly in today to vote and to start re-campaigning when the process is already concluded. It is very unfortunate. However, I am confident, because the God I serve is a living God. And no matter what, I am still very confident, 100%, that I will win this election and shame the devil. So they will go ahead, the police will watch, nothing will be done, as has been the case where she even intimidates police when she's arrested distributing kitenges and other things, and they are released. I want to appreciate the Electoral Commission. It's not been an easy journey. Voting started quite late, almost at 10:30. That is when the equipment and the voting ballot papers arrived at the various polling stations. I am glad I had the chairperson, Electoral Commission, saying that when people are already in the line, when it comes to close of business, those who are in the line will still be allowed to vote. So I want to encourage every voter of Lira City, please, I know in the morning you were a bit disgruntled, you went back home to have breakfast. I call upon you to come again and vote. Voting is open to everybody, and vote the candidate of your choice. Allow me to appreciate also my husband, with whom I came to vote, and also to appreciate my 2 sons who have been here with me, and we have gone through the voting process. Be defeated. So that question doesn't apply. Doesn't apply.
That is why I said in case.
I have said it doesn't apply.
Okay.
No.
Which we are going to front? You are inside? Let my vehicles come from this one and we go home. Okay.
What do you say? You go and pick from there.
My brother. You can sit in front and go to there. No problem. If she allows.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, it is best for security. It's best for security. No. You go and sit there. You come home. You come home. You go and sit. I am going to allow you to come. It's okay. You find me home. We are going to talk.
You go home.
No, we have now to manage emotions. Okay, you move slowly.
He's threatening me.
Relax.
What is your opening here? Hello, brother, behind. Hello, keep quiet. Brother. Back. All motorcycles aside.
brought them here. Let him first get them out of here.
For sure, Brenda. Why are you sitting them here?
It is Katuti who brought them here.
No, there's a discussion of...
He was supposed to have done that before even entering inside there. He brought his hooligans.
It's me who have said.
I want to register my utmost concern about how the voting in Lira City has been delayed. One, in the morning, our people were at the polling station very early, by 6 a.m. However, we started getting calls that the biometric, the voter identification kit was not working. Two, we started getting concerns that some of the returning officers had not appeared at the polling stations. Myself, after also getting concerns that the BVVK machines had failed, I had to drive to my polling station to confirm, of which I confirmed. Having got all these concerns, I went to the returning officer at the tally center to lodge my official complaint. At that point, over a half of the city had not yet received voting materials in each of their polling stations. Some of the polling stations actually were just like 1 kilometer away from the tally center. For example, Obutowelo, with 4 polling stations, by midday did not have voter materials. Burlobo, with over 7 polling stations, Borboro East, with over 10 polling stations, Adekokwok with 7 polling stations, and many others, Amucha, everywhere in the city. Over half did not have polling materials by midday. So I held a meeting with the returning officer around 11, raised my concern, and he said I needed to put the concerns in writing. So we agreed that we need to document the areas. So we drove to confirm the polling stations that are the issue, and we went with our social media journalists who were recording several polling stations without materials by midday. In one of the areas, we found an assistant RCC had been there. We found a group of criminals being commanded by my opponents and the RCC in borders, terrorizing people, terrorizing my agents, telling them they cannot sit where the returning officer and the verification were. So
we had to document this because we had told the Electoral Commission officials, returning officers, that number one, we had credible information that pre-ticked ballots were being harbored and kept in homes around Lira city. And the purpose why the voting materials delayed is because my opponents, using some of the RCC and assistant RCC and our goons, had compromised some officials, and they were branching in hotels to open the seal and remove the ballot papers so that they give it to them for them to pre-tick and find a way how they can be staff in the polling stations. So all the polling stations whose materials arrived late were the list of areas that I had strong support. So they had the issue of disenfranchising majority of my voters not to vote, but also pre-ticking. So that is why we went to the field and we confirmed that 3 ballot boxes that were already ticked were around. The allegation was that they were around Boroboro at the residence of the bishop. So what we did was to drive and park there to try and find out from the people giving us information whether it is within the school or within his residence or within the church. But they had alleged and told us that 3 pre-ticked ballot papers that were staff were at the residence of the bishop, of Professor Olwa. That was the allegation. So we stopped there to ascertain. So as we stopped there, these people have been moving in gangs of motorcycles with the sticks, with the army, and that is when they blocked our way not to go backwards and not to go in front. Of course, they are trying to protect their pre-ticked ballots. We also got credible information that also in Boke, at the home of someone called Lima, they were also taking for staffing. We got information that at Alpha Hotel, they were also taking. We got credible information. So the delay was meant to get the ballot papers and materials so that they go to the various places and pre-tick and find a way of staffing. So that is the scaffold that you saw in the place where you found us in Boroboro. So it was me who called the RPC and the 5th Division Commander to come because, number one, I had credible information alleging that where I am, there are pre-ticked ballot papers being kept at the residence of the bishop. So I needed them to come and as security, deploy so that if it is necessary, a search can be done. If it's not necessary, the deployment should remain there until all the ballot boxes are escorted to the tally center. Of course, also I indicated to him that I have enough security that could force my way to get out of that area. But because I want peace, electoral peace, I restrained my team of about 7 police officers who were there. I restrained my team who were moving with me, who were in 2 other vehicles, and I told them that it is not necessary for us to confront with these people. So at that point, I called the RPC and said, you need to come and remove some of the goons that have come where we are, and where we are is because we have this credible information about ballot boxes here. And so they came and we held a meeting and we made certain resolution. Some of the resolution was that, number one, they needed to remove from the street the criminals and the goons that are terrorizing people from the camp of Dr. Jane Acheng. Number two, there is a second resolution was that escorting of the ballot boxes must have representatives of all the candidates who are willing to escort the ballot boxes because of this allegation and credible information of pre-ticked ballot papers that they want to stuff. The third resolution was that we should have people at the tally center. We demanded that we need 5 people in the tally center to go and observe. The fifth resolution was that we needed extension of time because our team, the places where we had gone, by midday people had not started voting. By 1, even when I was already at home, Burlobo ward had just started voting. So that was one of the demands, and so they called the returning officer who decided to escalate it to Kampala. And I think also because of the failure of the biometric voter verification kit, it was agreed and it has now been communicated by the Chairman Electoral Commission that voting has been extended to 5 p.m. So I want to thank my team for being peaceful people, for being people who have rejected violence, the highest level of provocation. I want to thank them so much. But I want also to thank them for the courage that they have exhibited. They have moved to all the places where they are pre-taking. And I'm certain that those ballot papers and boxes are not going to come out. And now they know. We also agreed with the police and the army that I'm supposed to give all the places that we suspect to have pre-ticked stuffed ballot papers and boxes so that they deploy in those areas to avert any release of stuffed or pre-ticked ballot papers.
Are you under house arrest?
No, I'm not under house arrest. The only thing I was requested is that all the issues I raised, I should put it in writing. So I'm gathering all the information, like right now as I was seated here, again they sent me another place where they suspect. So now that I've been asked to document so that police can deploy in those areas. I am doing the documentation. Then at the close of the voting, I will be able to move to ensure that our boxes are collected properly and be able to go out to the tally center. The only request that we were asked is that we should, as much as possible, if we would want to go for any supervision or any activity, we must inform the security so that we are able to have security provided for us. That one we accept. However, the UPDF 5th Division Commander requested that he is overwhelmed with the city and the heightened tension, and he was requesting that if something happens to a person of my stature, he will lose his job, it will be his responsibility, and he had requested that if possible, I should accept not to get out and use my agents to collect the data and I make the write-up. Of course, I told him that I am a politician, I cannot be grounded. If I hear any of the issues being raised that require me to take action, I will take action. But I am glad that after our resolution, they have deployed. And areas where we were having a lot of intimidation on our people, they have taken steps to remove some of those intimidating criminals from the street. So I can sit when I know that there are no issues that requires me to be in the field. But should there be any issue that requires me to be in the field, I will move out to the field because it is my right. And so I really want to, but I also want to thank them, because if they were not here, if the UPDF was not here, the plan that these people had were very bad plans that included death. But because of the deployment under the 5th Division Commander, we have had situation where when I call, it takes restraint. Maybe I know that also when the side of Dr. Jane or any other candidate approaches him, it takes action. So I want to thank him as the 5th Division Commander that he has been able to balance and ensure that both my supporter and the supporter of all other candidates does not reach a situation where there is death, there is outright violence. And that is why I agreed with him, and I told him, so long as they restrain the goons, then I will be able to restrain my people and also restrain myself from going out. But if they don't do that, then I will be able to move myself and command my people. But so far, I think the reports I'm getting from the ground is that soldiers have been deployed, but they are not disorganizing the voting and the mobilization. I want to state that those people were hacked by Dr. Jiena Cheng's team. The person who commanded the activities and continue to command the activities of the goons under the border is called Okello Jacob. I've already given all the details to UPDF, 5th Division Commander. I've given the details to police, and he is also one of the person who participated in the abduction of Solomon Odiek, my social media, aka Macroni Ajokalango. The same person, he also participated in it. Also, I already know, I'm privy to information that investigation has concluded that actually the people belonged to her camp, not my camp. What Dr. Jane wanted to do was to cause mayhem and blame it on me. Last night, police arrested over 100 people, goons hired by Dr. Jane Ruther Cheng and RCC Egole. At night, they had already dressed in my t-shirt, and they were meant to go and beat the people overnight. And they were over 300 in different places. And the police found Egole Lawrence, the RCC, himself with those people at night. It has been the work of police and the army that has allowed us to have some peace. Otherwise, the RCC, Egole Lawrence, and Dr. Jane Ruther Cheng, and a guy Sake, who is an informant in ISO, all of them, and one of his brother called Sam Samo, they have been planning all the plans. I put it in writing 1 month ago and gave to police. I told the police all the illegal pistols that they had, illegal uniform for UPDF that they had hired to cause mayhem. 1 month ago, I lodged that complaint in police. So police is responsible that I gave all the information to police a month ago of the plans that these people had, but they did not listen to me. They did not investigate. Maybe they had no capacity to restrain them. So the death being caused is purely on RCC, Igole Lawrence, Agai Saki, Sam Samo, Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, who have organized goons, criminals to terrorize people because they knew that our votes are not there.
Well, first and foremost, I would like to confirm to the general public that North Kyoga region is generally peaceful and calm. From the time that we began this process of election, from party primaries to nominations, campaigns, and finally the D-Day has come, which is today, onwards up to 6th of next month. We have not had very pathetic issues that disorganizes the security of the region. However, we've been having some few isolated cases that have been handled case by case. Well, in line to the concern circulating about Honorable Amoy, it is true, she raised some concern which are very true. That is delays of electoral materials to some polling stations. That concern is quite true, even as a security we are concerned, because it is true some polling station, the electoral materials reach at around midday, 1. That is quite behind the planned time. So her movement really caused a lot of tension, particularly among the voters and other people. And that is why we took it upon ourselves as security. Our 5th Divisional Commander and the Regional Police Commander approached her and said, no, let's listen to your concern. Indeed, she explained. And they said, fine, other than you moving up and down, let your agents be the ones to respond to some of this concern. She understood. A similar concern was raised by Honorable Minister Dr. Ruth Jane Acheng, and they were equally, she was equally talked to. The same team went to her and talked to them, and both were asked to allow their agents to respond to those issues. And indeed, Office of the Electoral Commission at the regional level, they are aware about that, and we are very sure that the matter is being handled. Good note is that the whole chairperson of the Electoral Commission has given 1 hour into voting, that is up to 5 p.m. So it means going to consolidate that gaps which had been realized. So basically, that is what has happened. It is not true that the Honorable Minister is arrested. She is not. They have been asked to allow their agents to follow with their concern which they had raised, which is the issue of delay of submitting the electoral materials for voting late at the polling station, which of course, with their position moving up and down, definitely cause tension and commotion in the community. So we are trying to avoid certain things that could come as they move on. So they are just relaxing where they are. But why? Why would they be arrested?
So are they,
on what
free,
offense?
Are they free to move out?
On what offense? There is no offense against them. Yeah, it is true. You are aware that campaign formally ended on 13th. Yesterday, 14th, was a free day for everybody to rest, including supporters were moving up and down, listening to the campaign messages. So the Electoral Commission found it's important that at least 1 day off for everybody. It is true that last evening the chairperson NRM for Oyam district, while interfacing with the agents ready for deployment, allegedly some team who have been organized by one of the candidates, purportedly, who it is still under investigation, went and attacked him with the other team, and allegations also there that they robbed some money from them. So that is yet to be confirmed, the figures, since it came at the time when voting was beginning this morning. Most of our attention has been drawn to the voting of the day. So the 6 persons we have are still in sales, and the vehicle which they purportedly using has equally been impounded, and we have it at the Oyam police station. In a similar way, in Kwania, the supporters of Honorable Tony Ayo and Haron had a fight a bit amongst themselves. Fortunately, our DPC and the team quickly went on ground, responded, and they harmonized the situation. So that is the situation at which we are in. But also not forgetting that on the yesterday, strange but true, that the community apprehended a chairperson LC3 who was campaigning when campaign days had already ended. So this has given us a very, very, very good ground that all our efforts that we have been making in this region in terms of information dissemination, particularly through you, the media, our community members have understood the context at which security works. Because now, if the community have been empowered that yes, they can apprehend and hand over to the police, that is very good. We thank the community that yes, this is the spirit in which we really need to work in, because they've been able to understand that yes, campaign formally ended on 13, but the next day somebody is still campaigning. So we still have him in sales, and his matter is equally being handled. Yesterday he recorded a statement, but of course since now everybody is focused on the elections today, we may have to first have him there. If I use the security term, he has to call a tano in our police cells as we handle his issue when we're finished with this very important one which is ahead of us. Priority is now given to this. His will come later. Thank you.
His particulars?
It is Honorable Ochen Walter, Chairman LC3 of Inomo Town Council. Some other thing which is very interesting is that we've been working very closely with all sister agencies, and that is why the level of deployment has been heightened, and this has given very good confidence to the community. And I'm sure you've been moving around, you realize that people have been able to come in big numbers voting today, and we believe the message has really been very good to the community. Other than these few isolated cases that we've had, North Kyoga region is peaceful. Our appeal now is that as we go into vote counting, we call for calmness, vigilance, and patience, and cautions to those unauthorized persons who will be giving results. They should stay warned that we have gazetted people who are supposed to give results. I thank you.
That one told me about the name of what call it on.
South.
Valid. NRM. Valid. Move. Valid. NRM valid. NRM valid. NRM valid. Move. Valid. Move. Valid. NRM valid. NRM valid. LRM valid. NRM valid. NRM valid. NRM valid. NRM valid. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 51, 52, 53, 54, 135, 136, 137. One Jimmy valid. 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 Ogweng Eddie Morris valid. 91, 92, 93, 94, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, more.
NRM.
NRM, tag. NRM, UPC, NRM, NRM, UPC, NRM, UPC, NRM, NRM valid. 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 UPC valid. NRM 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 valid. Acheng 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 valid. Martin valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Amoy valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Amoy valid. Amoy valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Amoy valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Amoy valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Amoy valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Amoy valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Martin valid. Amoy. Amoy valid. Amoy valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Amoy valid. Amoy valid. Acheng valid. Amoy valid. Acheng valid. Amoy valid. Amoy valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Amoy valid. Amoy valid. Amoy valid. Acheng valid. Amoy valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Acheng valid. Amoy valid.